When people think of superpowers, they usually think of something basic, like super strength or flight or controlling animals. #1 Squirrel Girl fan, by the way. But they always fail to remember the strongest power of them all. An unstoppable force that could defeat the most powerful of opponents. Superman, Goku, or even Silver Surfer wouldn't stand a chance. I'm talking about the power of the goofy, the power of the funny, and dare I say, the power of the silly. Apparently this power actually does have a name, and it's called Toon Force. I was just going to call it Cartoon Logic, but Toon Force is way cooler. The power itself pretty much has unlimited capabilities. The power of Toon Force allows the user to literally manipulate reality any way they wish, with the only drawback being that it needs to be comedic. I thought of this power while zoning out in English class. Anytime I get bored, I usually start to daydream about having some sort of superpower that would allow me to get out of this mind-numbing lecture. At first it was just plain old invisibility, but I tend to zone out quite a bit and I needed to spice things up. I imagined myself being able to teleport, then being able to shrink myself, then being able to make clones, then having permeation and just phasing through the wall. But all of those had flaws. That being that pretty much all of them required me to be naked at some point, which is, yikes, brother. Invisibility would be useless if I had clothes on. I imagine teleportation would only teleport me and not my belongings. My clothes wouldn't shrink with me, and they just fall off when using permeation. Hey, future me here. I forgot to mention that the clone one would not work, because the clone that gets stuck in the class would probably end up revolting and would try and unalive me. This left me with one final idea. If I could just reach into my backpack, grab a hole, yes, a hole that leads to my bedroom, and throw it on the floor like I'm in Toontown, amazing game by the way, I'd be able to leave class with my clothes and even my other belongings. It has no flaws. And it got me thinking about all the other possibilities the power of cartoons have. For starters, it is stupidly overpowered in combat. The offensive and defensive capabilities of this power are unmatched. I mean, anything the user can imagine is possible. Literally anything. Even super specific things like a make Goku's atoms split apart-inator. And guess what it'd do? It'd split Goku's atoms apart. And you could do that with any opponent. Nobody could stop you. And defensively, you can literally die and be completely fine. If you get turned to ash, just spawn back in and say, sure glad I wasn't that guy, as you point to your lifeless corpse decaying on the floor. You are completely unstoppable. On top of combat, transportation with this power is limitless. We discussed the whole situation earlier, but there are an infinite amount of other possibilities. I imagine with this power, you're able to become 2D, so in theory, you could just teleport using PowerPoint slide transitions, which I think that would be pretty funny. I feel like that's all you need, but I guess if you wanted to materialize like a griffin or something cool to ride on, I guess you can. Lastly, the opportunity to make big dollars with this power is infinite. I mean, you could literally just make up a fake currency like a Bingus buck, trademark pending, and say it's worth $2 gazillion billion and buy whatever you want. I'm not sure what you'd buy since you can just phase anything you want into existence anyways, but if you wanted to buy like Cuba or something, I guess you could. Like all great powers though, it has its weaknesses. This one being that everything you do needs to be funny. Wait, but isn't comedy subjective? I mean, I guess this power doesn't. It really doesn't have any drawback.
Good morning.